I now have Numkar. Now, this world is, like I said, 1050, the long history, age, and the whole goal is to use this world as like special event forts. So I'm thinking we'll do a Christmas fort in this world. I'm thinking we'll do a Halloween fort in this world. We'll do something. You're asleep. How are you typing? This is just a very interactive dream. So yeah, I'm planning on doing a bunch of stuff with this world. And I'll show you why. Legends? I don't know. Why did you put a space in Legends? Probably because Stone isn't fully awake yet. I hope you slept well, though. Look at all of these historical events. It's like the polar opposite of Long Death. It's also still in the Age of Myth, which I think is kind of impressive. All right, let's just go to the historical maps. I'm going to show you why I think this world is cool. It's all connected. It's all one giant continent. There is no splits. Like, yeah, there's a few small islands here and there. There's a few small islands here and there. But this is mostly one giant world. Hope you guys can't hear that garbage truck that's outside. But, yeah, that's why I think this world is cool. Is because it's all interconnected. And I was watching this happen in the background while I was talking to Tarn and just thinking, like, yeah, there's this island up here, which will probably have something on it. Like, yeah, there's, like, you know, these sporadic small islands in the middle, but Pangea, or whatever the mega continent is called? Yeah, basically. I mean, yeah, like, there's small islands in the middle here. There's, like, this one off on the side. There's this kind of area down at the bottom. But aside from that, it's all one big-ass world. And it's all connected. And we have, like, these nice, giant, spooky mountain ranges down here. As well as these scorching plains up north. Like, we got a little bit of everything. We got all these haunted biomes up here. We got this haunted area up top. The only issue I have with this world is the only volcano I've spotted is, like, up here in the middle of the fucking ocean. But yeah, this world looks really cool. So I want to do something with this world. So today we're going to kind of... Well, first off, I'm going to slowly go through the history. So I'm going to go through, like, 10 years at a time, and we're going to watch stuff build. And then we're going to go into Legends and probably read some histories about this world. And see what kind of things we can find out. And begin prepping for our first seasonal fort. And yeah, that's kind of the whole plan, really. Let's move stuff up by like 50 years and see where things are starting to pop up. Looks like already in the first 50 years, we've got quite a bit of human civilization popping up kind of up here up north. A few evil spots, nothing too scary. A couple monasteries. We've got some elves popping up. A bunch of evil elves, too. This world does get pretty dark, by the way. I will spoilers that in advance, but most older worlds tend to get more on the dark side. Especially like this area. Look at this giant river kind of flowing down from this mountain. Like this massive spooky river. Look at that. Just kind of going down into the ocean. Am I doing a haunted biome fort? That's the plan. I'm not going to start it today, though. Today we're going to be playing Long Death, but... Whoopsies, that's the wrong button. Today we're going to be playing Long Death, but I will be... what's it called? We're researching this world. This music is awfully familiar. It is Starbound. Would you like me to change it? I have some people who hate this soundtrack, but I like it because it's like 1 billion hours long. There's also this massive river that kind of flows through here that then eventually connects to this other evil river. I don't know. This might be a fun as hell area. The Scalded Girder, which is a goblin civ, runs there. So much snow. This kind of peninsula looks like it's going to become a goblin stronghold eventually. Been a while? Yeah. And then there's this area, which is like kind of awesome. It's just like super cold. The sunny metal runs here. I think is a dwarven civ. Yeah, it seems to be a dwarven civ. It's the windy dimension. It's the wind dimension, I think. Yeah, so looks like this whole spooky area is interesting down here. We're up to year 100 now. Because we got the Bolts of Fortune, which is a dwarven civ down here. Yeah, it's the Bolts of Fortune and then the Sunny Metal. I'm not entirely certain who the Sunny Metal is. And then there's the Aching Curses down here, which are goblin. Got this evil glacier just spreading down here. But look at this area. This area is real neat. It's like this evil, cold as fuck mountain range. And this super, super far. Like, it's basically the South Pole. There's definitely going to be a power struggle down here. Got to be some cool wars going on down there. We speed up time a little bit. They're definitely doing something. There's a few dwarven civs that have kind of gone evil. They've pushed back the evil forces a little bit in this area. I like that they're just like spreading across it in a line. Like, in order to like fight back the darkness, they have to kind of work together as a crew. Oh, hey, there's another 2, I think, volcanoes. Interesting. Sounds interesting? Yeah, interesting. That's a way to put it. Let's check that large goblin stronghold. Oh, looks like the elves are kind of taking that lower area. This area. Again, still not separated from the mainland. Yeah, this is the infallible spiders. Well, the lonely spiders is what they should have called themselves because they're so far away from everything else. Let's check out what's going on up north. I really wish you could like look at active wars that are going on in this area because it would be real fun if you could get like that scene from the map where you can just like press enter and you can just like see all the armies moving back and forth. Looks like that evil river that we spotted initially just straight up has a necromancer right there. Also a lot of dwarven forts just like popping down. The Scalded Girder is probably that one. Yeah, the bot can only do so many things at once. Bot is not the biggest brain bloke in the whole world we got here. Yeah, these elves are not taking over this upper area as quickly as I thought they would. What's going on down here? We got a bunch of like evil elven areas. They're getting corrupted by something. I'm not totally sure what, because I don't see any towers around here. Legends plus map dive, and then we'll play the 1,000-year fort in a little bit. So what I'm doing, Shadow Mark Returns, is I'm working on a... Well, this is a world that I generated in the background while I was talking to Tarn. And it's one gigantic fucking continent. And I don't think I've ever seen, like, just a no special features, no custom anything. Just a normal-ass settings world generate in this size, all as one continent. Like, almost the entire world is one continent. I want to do something with this world. So I'm planning on doing a kind of a short Halloween fort. They just need to practice first. Like I said, I've said this many times. Necromancers are just scientists with weird hobbies, okay? Everybody's allowed to have weird hobbies. Don't shame them. I have weird hobbies. It just includes cassette tapes instead of rezzing the dead. No difference. Catch you up on everything? What? What did you miss? Welcome back, Coldfire. Looks like we've kind of got this central continent struggle between goblins and elves. And also, I might be mistaken here, but look at this mountain range. Is that a good biome? Or is that just really fucking cold? Because I think this might be an unsettleable good biome. Which is interesting. Although, I think kind of the area that I would want to, could be either, yeah. Because I think the area that I would want to settle in would probably be around here, because there's lots of like, for a Halloween fort. Because there's lots of goblins. There's haunted and sinister. As well as non-haunted and sinister areas. And there's mountains. Because that could be a lot of fun. There's also this, like, evil ocean down here. As well as this kind of goblin dwarf struggle. But these dwarves are interesting because they're settled almost entirely on this, like, set of evil mountain ranges. And there's a lot of people here. The sunny metal, the seduction of faith, bolts of fortune, and the aching curses. Is all that white snow? Yeah, because for whatever reason, this map is showing in winter. So, like, these areas that are green, it's just a very cold world. So these areas that are green are, like, evergreen areas, like jungles and deserts. And then this whole area it's just in winter. Because the map will change based on season, right? So if it's the cold season, it'll, like, the cold areas will show up with snow. So these will turn into summer at times. And when they turn into summer, that most of that snow will melt, most likely. But it's the map in this screen is just showing during winter time because that's the time where the map currently is. Let's push her forward a little bit. Let's go up to here 400 and have a peek around. See how things go. It really does, doesn't it? Like, if you zoom out, this just looks like a map because of how big it is. Like, all the tiles just run together. Like, it straight up just looks like a topographical map of a place. Yeah, I love that the one kind of split off bit of the continent, this area, has, like, no population on it. It's just empty. Exclamation point tile set. If you want it. It's also pinned in the Discord. And then there's this kind of northern region. I don't know what's going on up here, but these jungles and deserts have, like, just a couple elves. And then this must be an elf tower. There's no way anybody else would move out this far. Nomal Rubal. Sort of tower. The ambiguous torments. I love just kind of going through the world on this screen. Also, if you press enter, you can actually see, like, the power struggles. So the areas that are just a solid color are yeah, that little bit down in the bottom there in the bottom left that's kind of behind my camera right now, is quite literally just entirely secluded with nothing there. There's some pretty serious power struggles in some spots, especially this area that I predicted would have a hell of a power struggle down the bottom left. Yeah, it's the biggest size. It's long history, and it took like 5 hours to generate. It's the one that I had generating in the background when Tarn was on stream. And I liked the layout of it so much that when I was looking at it after it was finally finished generating, I liked it so much that I was like, I want to do something with this. I was planning on doing a Halloween map anyway. I like how the Seduction of Faith, this goblin civilization, has a perfect circle of territory. Look at that. I'm pretty sure that's a perfect circle. Or maybe that's a Dwarven civ, actually. It's a very goblin-y name, but... Work has been so busy lately. Just do a watch party. Stream it. You can do that if you want. The Confederations of Deification. I don't even know who that is. That must be that human civ. Must be. You have no job now? Oh no! What happened? Confederations is human? Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So it has to be like... like all of these housing bits kind of down here on the coast, kind of running up along the inside of this kind of inner sea. Hey, Tredge. Well, I hope you're able to find work quickly, man. I don't... There's two groups of people that I very much don't envy and feel for at this time, and that's people that are jobless and people that are moving. I have a friend who's jobless and moving right now, and I feel real bad for him. Or rather, someone I know. Never actually met him. The Constructive Thief. Constructive Thief has to be this goblin civilization, right? Because they kind of have territory that goes all the way out through here. It's a good name. I'm very... Actually, you know what? I'm going to do spoilers for a second. I want to see how far this evil in this ocean here spreads. Oh, interesting. Oh, never mind. I hit the end of time. This area doesn't change too much as time goes on. Let's jump up to year 550. Look at all of the dead towers up here. This power struggle between the humans and necromancers up here in the deserts is cool. There's so many dead towers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, yeah, don't you hate it when you run out of time? Yeah. Peaceful enough that, Oh, no, right, yeah, because you work in security, right? I mean, that at least, like, you know, it's not a, oh, you got fired or you quit due to poor circumstance. It's a, like, that's a positive thing that you can put on your resume, you know? Like, you guarded the place and your job ceased to be required versus they replaced you, right? Like, you don't ever want to be replaced. You want your job to stop being relevant. I love this town. I'm assuming this is probably, yeah, the Carulian Confederations is what I'm assuming this group is. Because they go all the way down to here. They also, I don't know how, but they've managed to work their way out onto this tiny little island territory-wise. But I would imagine this is like a human fishing village. Like, it looks like a fishing village. Or a set of fishing cities. That or maybe they're the permanent kingdom. No, definitely not the permanent kingdom. Permanent kingdom is wrong territory. But yeah, no, I'll bet you that these humans are the Carillion Confederations. And that is a fucking cool little town layout. Like, they got these roads all the way out to the ends of these little peninsulas with, like, monasteries at the end. Like, these towns past them. Like, I'll bet you this whole thing is, like, just one gigantic port. Then there's, like, these roads going along the beaches, and then things get dark out in the deserts. It's like, yeah, they're kind of, like, on the edge of the jungle and, like, the deserts, and there's all of these dead towers everywhere. So they're, like, a combination of, like, fortresses with, like, this fishing village in the middle. I don't know, that's a really, really cool fucking visual right there. And there's, like, elves kind of up in the jungle on the right. I don't know, I could imagine, like, a whole, like, novel or game taking place in this region. Just, like, looking at this shit. And then down here, like, part of the same faction, you have, like, this kind of power struggle between, like, evil or dark magics taking over a lot of the monasteries, whereas, like, kind of the central, like, hotter plains areas, towns are, like, kind of pushing them back. The Carillion. Would elves get angry about overfishing? I don't believe I've ever had elves complain about fish. I don't know. But you know the humans would. And, like, over here, there's, like, these small towns that are popping back up ever since these towers were destroyed. But things are still a little spooky. Spell Cerulean? Well, I'm very sorry that I'm mispronouncing the word. I will do better. Belmuka. Like I've said before, I need a fucking thesaurus to play this game sometimes. It's pronounced. Yeah, here's the thing. Cooler doesn't speak English normally, so if he's correcting me on English and he makes his own mistakes in there, I'm not gonna bother him about that. What is Blind going on about? Nothing of importance, as per usual. I usually speak English, and I also don't usually speak out loud. So then when I have to pronounce things, it's like that. This whole area is way too cool, though. Especially because there's, like, no dwarves up here at all. Well, there's a few destroyed fortresses. The Kingdoms of Weakness? That's a name. Why would you name yourself the Kingdoms of Weakness? Also, man, these elves have been, like, eradicated. All of these little crowns are destroyed forts. To trick the elves. Kingdom of Weakness. We're weak. We're the Kingdom of Weakness. Now come stab us. Ha! It was our trap all along. Sounds like something that kobolds would think of. We'll just call ourselves Weak Sauce McGee. And they'll leave us alone. Let's see how this area changes. Let's speed up time a little bit. Here's 700. Man, there's so many destroyed towers. Holy shit. They're already dead when they spawn. Yeah, let's check down in the far south, in the cold areas. Yeah, this is, These dwarves are, okay, hold on. Let's rewind time, right? Let's go back to, like, what, year 200? Very much a dwarven stronghold down here. You know, they've inhabited, like, these spooky mountains, right? But, like, very much a dwarven stronghold. Like, their power grows, it grows, it grows. There's a few that have been taken over by evil, but more or less it's like dwarven stronghold year 300, and then, whoa. all of a sudden, just something happened between 320 and 330 down here. And just boom. Maybe that's what is. Very safe, not scary. Bring food. Very safe, not scary. Bring food. You bet they dug too deep? Yeah. I mean, it's like suddenly out of nowhere, boom, all of the dwarves are gone. And then a fort pops up. So you know what probably happened? Year 330, somewhere between 320 and 330, this dwarven fortress or faction dug too deep. And then the refugees went and made that fort. Zonbarash. Unless that's goblin. A filled tool? And whatever this one is. Not even the underworld can stop you. And then a bunch of monasteries pop up. Interesting. Yeah, and then from here on forward, it's just like... a massive, like, struggle for the dwarves to, like, do anything. I think from here forward, it's just... like, they rebuilt a little bit. They've gotten some of their land back, and then the towers just start popping up. That one right there in the middle, that's killer. Frame rate stronger than Belrog. You'll kill us, but it'll take you 15,000 years! It's our final weapon. We can slow down time with our mind. Man, this area was so promising, and look how many towers there are. Oh, God. Why do you keep building monasteries, dwarves? This whole area is just dead now. You know what would be really fun for Halloween? Reclaiming one of these forts. Because these are, like, in the middle of this peak. That would be a lot of fun, I think. For a short kind of fortress experiment. Yeah, and then it's just like goblins overthrowing everything. Caravan arrives. Did anybody here listen to the most recent episode of DF Roundtable? And they were talking about the world that they generated that was literally unplayable, where the safest place that he could find in the entire world had 11 towers within reach. So you'd embark, and within 2 weeks, you'd get invaded by undead. Although I've generated a lot of worlds like that, where it's just like tiny or pocket world, 1,000-year history, and it's just like instantly everything's dead. It's just like a square of towers. Better build that gate fast, right? Build a door and lock it. I mean, you only need, like, a trapdoor, right? Mandalore is doing the thing that I think I want to do, which is ask people what kind of merchandise I should make. Also, I have to do a thing. Hmm. Yeah, let's poke around the world a little bit more. Sorry about the silence. Yeah, there's also this area that I haven't really looked at, which is literally just a fully evil, cold as fuck mountain range, but there's like nothing here, faction-wise. I mean, there's all of these elves up here, which are just quietly building a massive stronghold, but that's like it, right? Oh, there is something here. Talolas. Totally different from, that's almost close enough to President of the United States that I could imagine that being like Cobalt Murica. I kind of wish Cobalts showed up on the world map. And then up here is those goblins that have just been kind of left alone. Wonder what they're doing there. They're probably just having like carnivals, all that. Like, you know, the evil goblin carnivals, which is just like, they lit candles and tortured people and ran down the roads and cheered. Kind of goblin carnivals. This is an interesting spot. It's fucking cold as hell, but it's a goddamn desert. So it's snowing, but it's a desert. Also, this human faction, the Unions of Earth. Yeah. I think that they're on the, yeah, just casual murder, candles, and singing. Just basically just Sweden. Well, Sweden in the Viking days, right? Again, we have another really cool looking human faction. Oh, this is neat. So if I rewind time a bunch, it was this small human faction, right? Small human faction, and then a goblin spawn, right? We go forward through time. Over on the left, you can see goblins spawning, and the humans are growing. Left, there's goblins spawning. Humans. There's a few corrupted human towns, not a lot. There's more goblins popping up. Goblins are these little scrolls. These are goblin pits. Then over on the right, these little greenhouses and little greenhouses right here, kind of on both sides of this bay, are human, right? And then the little circles are monasteries, right? We're speeding up through time. And then something happens right about there. The fuck happened that year? All of the, just boom, they're all dead. Including a couple of human towns as well. I mean, I like to imagine that those unions of Earth are actually aliens from Earth. That is neat. That is really, really neat. I really want to know what happened in that year. Someone peed on a Titan? Or like a dragon showed up? I mean, we're still in the age of myth, right? Also, holy crap, there's a lot of forts in this area. I'm gonna rewind time again. This area gets busy. Like, this area is like kind of a lot of deserts that are dry, but also lots of big rivers and mountains and spooky haunted areas. Seems to be kind of a cluster of humans and goblins and dwarves as well. Got to be an interesting power struggle going on in here, especially around the time that the towers start popping in. Wow, that's a lot of towers, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All kind of like in that cluster right in the center there. Are you guys able to follow this? Because this stuff's way too fun for me. It's like watching how the world evolves. There's even more towers popping up. And then they all start dying. Be really fucking cool if there's just like a lot of colossal titans in this world. Also, God, there's a lot of towers over here too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All just kind of like on this coast. All right, I think it's time for us to actually look at some history here. Let's start off by looking at few monsters. Specifically ones that are still alive. Like Nagok, Lasatru Kar, a zombie Hydra. Was last active in 215. Or 1015. 106 notable kills. 82 other kills. When did it die? Looks like there was a big jump there. Didn't do anything from 380 forward. In the spring of 666, it fought. It's a good question. Having some issues with Twitch? Oh, that's not good. What kind of issues? I like how it just becomes enemies a bunch of things. It was animated by an unknown forces. Means it must have died in an evil biome. If it's animated by unknown forces. Interesting. Got rocks. There's also a male Hydra. This is just a normal ass Hydra that's still alive. Also large jumps in activity from years. It doesn't really do anything for like a couple hundred years at a time. It doesn't do anything. So like it received worship of a goblin in 539. 882, it became active again. And then 948, it became active again. Also sweat buds. 66 notable kills and 124 other kills. Also, hey, Taiga. There's a lot of Hydras alive in this world. Most of the, like, it feels like most of the Hydras are alive. They're like, there's a few dead ones, but there's a female dragon that's still alive. Zedron, Zedsad, Ronux, Hezra, Salka. The hot gem of flames. One of the first of her kind and associated with wealth and fire, settled in tomb scars in the fresh crevices. Your name was Sweatbuds? I mean, I feel like the group of Sweatbuds are probably all just like either A, hanging out in a sauna, just chilling with their buds, or B, they're all working out. It's like one of the two. Zidane devoured a troll of the tempted nightmare. Let's see what you've done. Again, large breaks. You have a son? Oh, fuck. We've got baby dragons in this world, chat. Oh, fuck. Lithari the Hot Fortunes. Okay, we need to find this thing. Where's Lithari? How do you spell it? Lethari. Female giant jaguar. How come I can't find you now? Am I spelling something wrong? 'Cause there's this female dragon. It was the top one? No, it's not that one. Because this one was struck down in 89. That one was born in 1000. Hold on, let's just look this up again. This one, I think. Yeah. Born in 1034. Lethari. Why are you not showing up? The Hot Fortunes? Yeah, the casino driving baby dragon. Why can't I find you, though? There's a male Etten of a similar name. The surname? Well, hold on, let me look at the rest of their name. The Hot Fortune. There's nothing else. The Hot... No. I mean, there's this one. The Hot Gem of Flames, which is the other dragon. You saw a male dragon that was on the list? Whoopsies. There's a female dragon. Female giant jaguar, male elf. But, like, none of them are born in the right year. That's weird. Hey, Jamie, what's up, dude? Strange. Strange, but there's baby dragons in this world. Maybe it, like, is still... I don't know how long it takes for dragons to mature to the point where they can leave their mother, but maybe it just hasn't done anything, so it's not listed? Like, is it possible that it, like, just lives with its mother kind of deal? Like, how long does it take for a baby? Because if it was killed, it would show up as dead, right? That's so rare. Yeah. There's also just tons of forgotten beasts. So many. This one died. A frothy. The frothy was a forgotten beast, the only one of its kind, a gigantic eyeless serpent with 2 stubby horns, and it squirms and fidgets, so it's a blind snake. Its brown scales are jagged and overlapping. Where its poisonous gas. Is this Long Deaths? No. This is the legends that this is the world that I generated while I was talking to Tarn, and we're going to use it for a Halloween world, basically. But the reason I like this world is because it's literally one giant... Well, that's unexpected. In the early summer of 38, Senane, the eyeless serpent, was struck down by a hedgehog demon. Congrats, you got murdered by Stanek. But they go constantly and slowly? Nothing wrong with a giant sip. How you doing, Lupdu? But yeah, no, so this is a 1,050-year-old large world that I generated while I was interviewing Tarn. It took a total of like 4 hours to actually generate the world. And I like the layout of it so much, I want to do something with it. So we're going to run some side projects in this world. My first one is I want to do some things for Halloween. And one of the things that I haven't done in a while that I think would be fun to do for Halloween, I want to look up Spark Roof. No, it wasn't Spark Roof. What was it? What was the name of that forgotten beast that died? I'll find it. But I want to run a Halloween fort in this world, and I was thinking it would be kind of fun to do a re-embark. There is a forgotten beast just called Hoth. A giant blob composed of snow. Of course it's called Hoth. Has a round shell and it squirms and fidgets. Beware its poisonous sting. Good job, Dwarf Fortress. You generated a Star War. Where's that one? This one. Oh, Spark Roof was the name of it. It was struck down by a hedgehog demon. Okay, I understand now. Yeah, I think Spark Roof was the one that dug too deep. Hoth means bog. Sure, but still funny. It's just interesting that there's actually a dragon with a sun in this fortress. Or not this fortress, but this world. This world is also still in the age of myth, even though it's the year, like, 1050. Oh, I found a Marsh Titan. Zest, Boat's Froth the Grizzly, was a Marsh Titan. It's the only one of its kind, a gigantic humanoid composed of salt. It has 2 long, straight tails, and it's amazing it lived this long. And it moves deliberately. Zest was associated with water, plants, nature, muck, and animals. This Hill Titan didn't do so hot. The only one of its kind, a hairy bristleworm. It has a broad shell and it moves about carelessly. Its aquamarine hair is very curly. Beware its fire. It was attacked by the sooty fiend at Twinkle of Ice. And the periwinkle brute Othes. Hate fiends, the ruthless of thieves, attacked the beast. Was struck down by periwinkle brute. God of seasoning. Yeah, chefs everywhere love them. All of these notable kobolds all died in year 1. Of course they did. Ate by troll. Iguana demon. Shulmok poisoned, puzzled. The occult secrets was an iguana demon. The first of her kind, the great iguana, twisted into humanoid form. It has humanoid form with external ribs. It is slavering. Its sepia scales are small and set far apart. Beware its noxious secretions. Lit Winkling has been murdering people up until this day. Man, considering this, okay, so this is one of the leaders of the Shameful Thief, which was one of those goblin civilizations that we spotted. And, doesn't really do much. He's just, he's in the time before time, you know, he helped create the infallible spiders, that group that's kind of off in the goblin group that's kind of off in the middle of nowhere, settled in Light Winkling, ruled the fortress of ruthlessness of the infallible spiders, and then didn't really do much aside from like created a bunch of jobs, murdered an elf, and then like every couple of years just like murders somebody. Basically, like, this whole faction was created by this demon for the purpose of just, like, occasionally murdering his subjects. I don't know what that name means. Stone. 20 kills. Just all of them notable. None of them notable. Just 20 kills. Oh, that's a funny demon. The occult secrets. Poison puzzled. I'm very puzzled by your poison. Pretty stable serial killer? Yeah, pretty much. Just, like, made a faction for the purpose of just, like, occasionally murdering his subjects. They're not even having, like, wrestling events or anything. Like, come on, man. Go do something. Meng the Crazy Competition. Okay, I want to know what this god is. Meng the Crazy Competition was a deity that occurs in the myths of the Turquoise of Rock. Was most often depicted as a female dwarf and was associated with chaos, war, and fortresses. I like it. Could totally imagine that dwarf. Oh, it's virginity. Oh. Ooh. I mean, we have human names that have similar meanings. Just looking for fun, long titles. Egu Canyon Kobolds. This is a human god that comes from the confederations of deification. Most often depicted as a male human and is associated with jealousy. Elven forces, disgusting. Male consort of the Twilight Freak. Yano was a consort of the Twilight Freak. One of the first of his kind, a large feathered humanoid with a knobby trunk. It moves with uneven, jerking motions. Its charcoal feathers are fluffed out. You will know why you fear the night. and immediately became a diplomat of the Frosty Satin. And the elf and Yano became lovers. Were you murdered and experimented on or something, or just lover boy, eh? Huh. Ah, there we go. Was abducted from Tombsville by Botan Dusk-Tunneled. And in the year 1011, was imprisoned. And changed from Yano the Elf into a consort of the Twilight Freak. Twilight Freaks, yeah, I knew a lot of those in high school. So it's just an elf who was a lover boy. Very popular. Every like 30 years or so had a new partner, and a lot of breakups. A lot of broken hearts in this elf's life. And then now is an immortal monster of the night. Necromancer spirit. Or necromancer creation. The Meandering Rose. The dwarven god from the myths of the Scalded Girder. Depicted as a male dwarf and associated with love. The glitter of Saturninity? Probably butchered that. The deity that occurs in the myths of the Scalded Girder. Most often depicted as a female dwarf and associated with marriage. Diplomat from 1 to literally 1,010 years. They were a diplomat. Okay, this sounds like this is metal as fuck sounding. A Death Slayer. I'm sure that that's just an experiment, right? But like, Death Slayer? That's a good experiment name. I like it. The Adorable. Decap the Adorable. Decap the Adorable. Was a deity that occurs in the myths of the Permanent Kingdom. Depicted as a female human and associated with happiness, rivalry, and dance. Revelry and dance, not rivalry. Misread that. Decap the Adorable. Decap. I want to read that as like decapitated the Adorable, you know? But it's definitely decap. Want to check something right quick? See if it went up yet. So every other Friday, me and my stream team are streaming board games together, right? And the first highlight reel is finally up. If you happen to have Twitter, go check that out. And if you missed the actual stream itself, it was a lot of fun. We played Uno. I did the editing on the highlights, so maybe, like, I don't know, go leave a nice comment on it or something. If you want to make my ego get a little bigger. Because God knows I don't have enough ego already. I just love looking at these gods. Especially the ones with the long names. Like this one. Sut, dyed dust, the lined grave. Was another permanent kingdom god, depicted as a rotting female human and was associated with boundaries and death. Boundaries. Seems to have a lot of fans in the form of necromancy. Sut. A lot of human necromancers like this god. Well as, dwarves as well. Cavefish woman. Okay, we need to look you up. Shaft Cuts. Cave fish woman necromancer. Shaft Cuts. Born in 279, died in 691. Also, thanks everybody for any kind of interactivity on that tweet or on the video. Cheers, guys. And for anybody who wants it, here's just the link to the actual video. But Lacille Shaftcuts was a cave fish woman necromancer born in 279. She was of unknown parentage and became a representative of the Square Reverences and became a member of the Cult of Rains, became obsessed with her own mortality very quickly, and sought to extend her life by any means necessary. Anybody know what the average age of fish people are? Because you're born in 279 and 315 they became obsessed with their mortality. Purchased a house in Royal Scrapes, formerly owned by the reptile woman, Seapip Cleanwander. I'd wonder about the reptile person. After 30 years after his lover loved him so much, he didn't care to become a monster. Didn't care that he became a monster? I mean, it's possible, yeah. A Wizard's Guide to the Tower. Yeah, we got ourselves this fish person. I want to look up that reptile person who owned that house previously. I want to know about them. Why they lost the house. Shaft Cuts. The Classic Creation. Good names for books. Possibilities of the Tower. Oh, there we go. The Human Hollow Striker was brought back to life. Human Hollow Striker. Oopa. Brought a whole bunch of Hollow Strikers to life. Interesting. Was enslaved by the Cerulean Confederacies and settled in Quest Leaps and became a poet? What? Rezzed a bunch of, like, elven monsters and then was enslaved by a human faction. And then became a poet in Quest Leaps and started writing books again? And I Sang Leisure was authored. So you wrote some music, I guess. Or poetry. Fought in a couple battles. Settled in Brimstone. Attempted to corrupt an elf. But failed. Fought in some more battles. The Kingdom of Weakness? Yeah, I mean, we can look them up too. I'm just kind of falling down the rabbit hole of different peoples. I wanna know more about that reptile person that was up there that used to own this person's house. Mended some bonds of friendship amidst battle. And then corrupted the human Hidsec. Circle reveled in order to have an agent in Brimstone. The dwarf Nil met with the human and made a threat. And willingly agreed despite the effort of surrounding allies to stop the plot. And then the infamous council, who is our fish person, created the position of High Chef as a matter of course. Road Administrator, Master of Beasts, Counselor of Course, Leader through... And then created the position of War Leader through force of argument. Then after creating all of those different positions of power, was imprisoned by the full chapels and settled in Ignite's Bud. What ended up happening to you? Rezzed some more undead, wrote more books, wrote even more books, got imprisoned a few more times. was fed to beasts. One of the last few things, performed horrible experiments in polish gleamed and changed the demon of Oxatu Enes Crazed Dash from a serpent man to a demon of Oxtuso. And then changed the demon of Oxtuso, the vessel strokes, into the amphibian woman, into a demon of Oxtuso. Settled in polish gleamed, and then was fed to beasts. I'm the sewer official. I mean, who doesn't want to be the sludge guardian themselves? Ardently worshipped the god Net and Sut, the lined grave, god of bones. This is an interesting little necromancy story. Maybe like the human faction brewer. Like maybe that's what they call their brewery. Wonder why you were fed to beasts. I wonder if this was some sort of prejudice situation going on here. Because like, as far as I could tell, this necromancer was doing good by the necromancers. Like, I wonder why Necrolol would feed him to beasts. Like, he was creating monsters, he was rezzing the dead, he was writing books, new music. Then just out of nowhere, the human necromancer Abuth fed him to beasts. Just murdered him. For Necrolols. I mean... his name is Necrolol. He did it for the Necrolols. Right, so what was the name of that reptile person? Formerly owned by the reptile woman Spep. S-P-E-P-I-P. Clean Wonders. Didn't live very long. Reptile Woman was born in 233. She was of unknown parentage. In the late winter of 259, Spep became a representative of the Square Reverences. Spep became a member of the Fellowship of Gleams, purchased a house, and then died of old age. And then our reptile woman, Cavefish woman necromancer, Cuts purchased the house. In Royal Scrapes, formerly owned by Spep. Okay. Not nearly as exciting as I hoped it would be, but... we wanted to know a little bit about Kingdom of Weakness. The Kingdoms of Weakness was a human civilization of the Windy Dimensions. The confining band of the Kingdom of Weakness founded Truth Thundered. They have a very long history. This is high speed mode. But up until most recent year, two hours of reading weakness. I mean, got all day. It's probably more than 2 hours of reading in there. Confining band of the Kingdoms of Weakness founded Truth Thundered. They held a procession as part of the Festival of Eviscerators and started out the Pots of Wandering and returned thereafter. Throughout the event featured banners, costumes, and images, an order of precedence, and criers in front. They held a ceremony in Trudstead as part of the Festival of Eviscerators. The adventure features incense burning, candles, and costumes, and banners. The human ruined hunter, Legir Moonmetal of the Kingdoms of Weakness, created the position of Chamberlain. The ruined hunter, Ari, became the Chamberlain of the Kingdoms of Weakness. Oh. In the year 4, the dragon Amai, Glowbrand, became the enemy of the Kingdoms of Weakness. They fought with a dragon in year 4. The founding factions. A cheetah became their enemy. Coalition of pantomiming of the Kingdoms of Weakness constructed Dweldham. Yeah, they're founding more places. Constructing a lot of places, actually. Word growls. A perfect bridge. Bridge of entrancement. Parts of the Queen's connecting. Truth Thundered and Word Growl. That's a lot of bridges. Holy shit. 3 cheetahs. Yeah, they must have gotten attacked, and there's more here. They're kind of in a deserty area, so it would make sense why there's cheetahs everywhere. A group of lobsters of the Kingdoms of Weakness founded Bodice Puzzles. And a giant cougar becomes their enemy. Yeah, the problem with Legends is looking through this stuff is a little tricky to actually find stuff, unless you're using Legends Viewer, which I'm not. At least in these big civs. It's much easier when looking at smaller individuals. So this is an interesting one. Tololus. Tololus. It is a kobold civ. They're very isolated. But in the early spring of year 1, the zombie Hydra, Nagoth Gleaned Earth, became an enemy of Tololus. An Etten became their enemy, a Giantess became their enemy, a Troglodyte became their enemy, and a Rock became their enemy, and another a Zombie Rock became their enemy twice. The Fog of Skunks must be stanky, and routed one of them, one of their little places, but yeah, they're doing just fine. Dringus? There's a Dringus place? Oh, I see it. It's a good name. Dringus was a kobold group in the Windy Dimensions. Dringus of Plalgaborobin constructed Thundercook Jagirsinus in Frayed Echoed, the Stoked Goo. The dragon Lothari Flareworm, the Glowing Fortune attacked Dringus at the Soaked Goo, and routed Doringus of the Stoked Goo. So they settled in year 1 and died in year 3. Poor Dringus. Yeah, this one right here. It was a kobold civilization in the Windy Dimensions. They had one place that was routed by a dragon in year 3. Oh, indeed. Those poor fuckers. Grubbus! This is also a good name. Grubbus! I like to think that they were talking about food. Grubbus. In the early spring of 18, the Bronze Colossus attacked them. Became the enemy of Grubbus. And attacked them 3 times, but routed them the 3rd time. Marsh Mustandards. Mustandards! You saw the pink hell? What? Bimis. Flunkus. Thumber. Thumber was a kobold civilization. Lucas of Thumber constructed broshmeals in Siltark and the Knife of Roses. And a blind cave ogre became their enemy. And a jabberer became their enemy. Ooh, that's scary. Man, these guys are still around. Shit. In the year 43, Jabberer became their enemy. The full chapels defeated Bluckus of Thumber and took over Siltrock and the Knife of Roses. The new government was called the Slick Leaps. In 768, the full chapels defeated Dilulungus of Thumber and the destroyed Jagalashholms. In the years 768, they took another one. The Enchant's Truth defeated them in 781. The Enchanted Truths defeated them in 781. The Silky Directions defeated them and took over Pedis. Yeah, these guys are still around, but they're losing, territory. I like this name. The Volcano of Attack was an elven group. Whoa. These are, not nice. They're imprisoning a lot of dwarves. Okay, let's take a peek. They became enemy with a dragon and a bronze colossus. They constructed a bunch of different spots. And then the Hydra, Collieels, the simple dominion, devoured a yak bull of the volcano of Scrapweeps. And I guess they must have blamed the humans and dwarves because they just start imprisoning people after that. They get attacked a few more times by the Hydra and then just continue imprisoning everything. Nervicious, what's up? Good to see you. Look at this. It's this wall of imprisonment. That's all this is. Must be a hell of a prison. And they get attacked by more Hydras. CC. They continue imprisoning people. More Hydras. More imprisonments. It just keeps going. I wonder why the Volcano of Attack is imprisoning so many people. Like, what logic they have behind this? Senseless imprisonment. One of your dwarves has entered into a mood. Ooh. Make sure he claims a workshop. I mean, these guys have been at it for hundreds of years. Yeah, they must be just blaming the dwarves for the Hydra attacks. Because they're imprisoning so many. Dragon became their enemy, and it just keeps going. I saw a necromancer up there. Yeah, like they're imprisoning necromancers too. And dingo people. Volcano of Attack. Volcano of Attack is like they don't speak English band, like probably like from Portugal, but it like that would be like the translated to English version of their name. I know a band called Bitch Volcano. Does that count? Although technically it's Puta Volcano, but they translate it to Bitch Volcano. The Folly of Morderlands, Vakar Boltsworth. God. You just got hired at Walmart. Congrats! GG. Well done. Can I get a round of applause for Shadowmark Returns? So what's your plan now that you've been hired at Walmart? Go to Walmart, get paid. Do what I would say. Good for you. Ugh. Frankly, like, Walmart ain't the best place to work, but you could certainly do worse right now. Like, not have a job. The Hydra call yells. The simple dominion devoured a rattlesnake. Custodian work for a full-time position at $13 an hour? Fuck yeah, man. Hey, $13 an hour is better than I do some days. Like most days. Pay those bills. 1 hour at a time. Yeah, I think that this might be the biggest prison I've ever seen. Let's see what happens down at the end. Oh. In the late autumn of 750, the eviscerated dungeon attacked the volcano of attack at the Lansonic Thorns at Scraped Wasps. The goblin Zolok Nightmare led the attack, and the defenders were led by the elf's Skull Pass. And then it stops. So do you think the prisoners were all freed? It's ironic that, like, the biggest elven prison I've ever seen also, Noble Rock Fight is a really good name. The biggest prison I've ever seen is just killed by guys called the Eviscerated Dungeon, which must have been goblins, as like they were led by a goblin. So I'm assuming the Eviscerated Dungeon is like a goblin group. They were definitely burned to death. I mean, let's find out. Nightmare Wicked. So 750. This was the general that led the attack. The Braided Ashen scored... The late autumn 715, the Eviscerated Dungeon attacked the Volcano of Attack. Zolok led the attack, and the defenders were led by the Elf Skull Pass. Yeah, there's no details there. I'm assuming they won. Oh god, yeah, totally. I mean, I know one person who worked at a Dollar Tree, and they worked at a Dollar Tree for, I think it was like 3 weeks, and then they quit. Yeah, we could look at Skull Pass. Also, Skull Pass. That's a dark name for a elf. Was that Skull Pass? Skull Bench. Skull Stool? I can't find them. You lasted 3 years at a Dollar Tree? That's... I'm sorry. I mean, I lasted, What's the word here? I find Skull Pass. What was your first... What was that goblin's name? I looked up a second ago. I mean, Rock Fight was one of the prisoners. Normal Rock Fight. This guy. Whoa. Got out. Began working at the Unthinkable Eater. Was abducted. There you go. They were all just brainwashed. Was imprisoned by the volcano of attack. Was abducted from North Ghouls by the goblin Axus Scorched Doom. Was imprisoned by the volcano of attack. Settled in scraped walls. You know what this must have been? The volcano of attack must have been an elven place that was then taken over by goblins and used as a prison. Read the last Discord story? Can do. Flaccid guitars are very weird. Indeed, Mr. Robotnik. My creations are beyond match. Match speed? What? Dwarfs gleefully took 2 years making soap to reduce infections from certain microbes, which hate standardized social meerkats. Good job. I like how you guys were literally writing that while I was reading it. You lasted at Dollar Tree for like 3 months, Seabram? Yeah, I worked at McDonald's for 8 years. Shift. I also worked at a gas station for about 2 months in the middle of that. Look who has a new hat.
Very nice.
Thank you very much, Moose, for the 9 months. Good to have you. Cheers, man. Thank you so much. I see Nafa modes, sparkle farts. I approve. Blind approves. Very cool of me to stream Dwarf Fortress, and you appreciate me. Cheers, man. Well, thank you for letting me do this full time, you know, right? Like, if I didn't have, if I didn't have this, I don't know what I'd be doing in 2020, frankly. So, I get to play video games full time, which is best goddamn job. I wouldn't trade that for anything. But no, C Brown, don't. If you're saying that you feel sorry for me, don't. Because like, I worked my ass off to get to a point where I don't need to have those jobs anymore, and I haven't worked in fast food since 2018. So it was worth it. Work the job you hate to get the job you like. And in my case, it was work the job I hate to get to the point where I don't need to do that anymore. But yeah, no, it looks like a lot of those people who were imprisoned in the volcano of attack were just brainwashed. That's what it looks like to me. From what I'm looking at here. Or at least that's my assumption. Also, Sparkles, how you been, man? And as far as getting content in jobs goes, doesn't matter how content you get, just ask for better. Regardless of what the job is. Doing all right? Good shit. Trying to keep up with a specific Discord right now. All right. Yeah, no, like he got married. The normal rock fight after being imprisoned by that place made it out. So I don't know what they're doing there. Maybe they're just like a basic detention facility. Who knows? OJT? What's OJT? Well, that's good. Being full-time and no longer temp is always solid. On the job training? Ah. I thought it was like orange juice taps, and I was very excited for a second there because I like orange juice, but... Kickroast Standcudgel was a demon of Join Castles, born in 857 and unknown parentage. A small one-eyed humanoid. It has large mandibles and its charcoal skin is wrinkled. This night creature was first created by the dwarven death slayer, Domas Join Castles, after horrible experiments in the goblin Unib Silverdanced in Sorrow Monster in 918. And became a tavern keeper at Theater Cried. And started working at the Rough Tummy. The Rough Tummy is a really good name. The Rough Tummy is not the place you want to eat dinner, because they're going to make your tummy very roughy the next day. You have no idea the menu to actually trade? Hit Q on your trade depot and request a broker or a trader. You need to have a broker assigned, and then the trader will come and trade. But after you've done the agreements, you also need to then bring items to the trading depot. So you have to hit Q on the trading depot and then hit G to bring items to the trading depot. Problem with that is there's so many people who are involved in Boat Murdered that, like, if somebody were to make merchandise for Boat Murdered, then somebody would be profiting off of somebody else's work, which would be really weird. Yes. Also, those agreements are for next year, not the current year. Still confused by why I haven't seen this goblin. Or not goblin, dragon child. Kind of looking for it. And, you know, just a bunch of corpses. Just as you do. To Phil's petition requests, but building guilds is fun. Although I usually, at this point, just build guilds before they even ask for them. So by the time they ask for them, I already have them. Let's look at some books. Petrified wood slab, kimberlite slab, raw adamantine slab. Foggy Lost. The Spidery Shadows. The legendary adamantine slab. While craftsmanship is of the highest quality, it reads, I am Hui Makona. You killed my Faza. Prepare to... It reads, I am Kui Makona, puzzling hole. One of the underworld. I bind myself to this place. It was created by the iguana demon Shul Mick. Poison puzzled. The occult secrets. Before you can manage to build it. Yeah, I know what you mean. They're you just build it like as a temporary one. All right, I need to look up this demon. Because I've never seen an adamantine slab before, so I think that's kind of cool. Foggy Lost, the Spidery Shadows was created by the Shul Mick. There's also a forgotten beast of the same name. Interesting. For your top dwarves? A waste of adamantine. But it was an iguana demon. She was one of the first of her kind. A great iguana twisted into humanoid form. With external ribs, she is slabbering. Its sepia scales are small and set far apart. Beware its noxious secretions. It was associated with trickery, treachery, lies, and dreams. Again, found at a place. Also lives in the infallible spiders in Litwinkling. Ruled from the fortress of ruthless, infallible spiders in Litwinkling. I want to know what this forgotten beast of the same name is. A towering kinglet with lidless eyes and a pair of squat antennae. Kinglets are a bird, right? It belches and croaks and is associated with its crimson feathers are fluffed out. Beware its webs. Associated with water, jealousy, and caverns. So I hit the wrong button. I want to look up a little bit about that area that just got fucked. I'm going to pop back over to the maps. It was like, what, year 310, I think it was? That everything just died. There's also that goblin area where everything just died. So let's just pop back over the map real quick. Press enter. Where was that whole group that was doing the power struggle thingy and they all died? Because there is a group. I want to say it was right here. Yeah, it was right here. These guys. Nope, not these guys. Where was it? Actually, no, we could look at those dwarves where they all drop off the face of the earth. Right here, these guys. I'm pretty sure it's either the splattered menace. It's definitely not the sunny metal. Well, actually, maybe it's the sunny metal. What year was it that like most of their stuff died? They were doing just fine, and then year 350, like a huge chunk of them all die. Yeah, let's look up the sunny metal. There's a dwarven civilization in the Windy Dimensions. All right, let's go to the year. Look for the year 3 something. So fucking much. I mean, they seem to be a very goblin-oriented group, this Sunny Metal, because they have goblins taking place in all of their competitions. As well as, like, kind of dark ceremonies. The Festival of Painting, the event featured storytelling, a performance of play, of cavorting, recycle, and music scribing, acrobats and costumes. The dwarf Grim Corpse Locum became the Baroness of the Sunny Metal. The dwarf Ast became the King of the Sunny Metal. Wonder if we'll even see the battles here, or if I need to like look up the specific fort names. A story recital. I mean, they don't seem too dark. They had wrestling competitions. What races? The Eye of Cult Ships. Udil. Red Labors was the victor. I mean, all things considered, the Sunny Metals seem like a pretty happy crew. But let's go look up a specific fortress name. Bomrek Dumatan. UM8. Mountain Halls of Dumatan. Pleated hatchets of the Bolts of Fortune founded this place. So what the hell happened? Okay. In the year 320, they preached to the communion of glows, inveighing the sect of the heating at Roughness Clod. The Mountain Home and other travesties was stored there. Books. All right, so what the heck happened? The frothy cult ships of Muthcat, Ink Pact, backed the Eye of Cult Ships. So they get attacked. The Golds The feral golds attacked the mindful lanterns at Roughness Clod. The dwarf Faded One, Eusteth Rimturge, led the attack. See here, I thought they dug too deep, but it looks like they just got invaded. The mindful lanterns attacked them. In 3 Theory 8, the Eye of Cult Ships, Faded, the Faded One. Bonatic, settled in Roughness Clod. The Cult Ships of the Faded One, Soskal, settled in Roughness Clod. In the year 338, Dwarf Faded One was brought back from the dead by the Dwarf Necromancer Ficod Lensburn, the Faded One in Roughness Clod. Where do you get this game? From their website. It's free. bay12games.com/dwarves. You can also wishlist the out one day Steam version if you want, which will cost money, but the website version is free. All right, I think it's time for us to hop into Long Death. We're getting a little bit lurky, but I'm enjoying this. We're gonna have to do a little bit more poking at this. I think probably what we're gonna end up doing for this is if I pop back over to the historical maps, we'll probably reclaim one of these fortresses. Somewhere around here. Yep, the website version will stay free and we'll get a UX overhaul, but we'll not have graphics, so it will still be ASCII. So, as far as I can tell, it'll have most of the usability improvements. It'll just be ASCII. Yep, so you can still play the free version and give them money on Patreon or however you want to support them or not. I'll save those. So yeah, let's jump into Long Death. Although you will also, if you purchase the Steam version, be able to swap the Steam version over to the classic version, so it'll look just like the free website version, even though you bought it through Steam. So you can buy the official release and get like the automatic updates and workshop support and all that shit, but play it in ASCII, which is totally going to be an option. Probably what I'll do. So I'll buy the Steam version and support them, and then still